I need to turn the page. Howdy. Welcome to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show, coming to you live today from Lupe Tortilla in Katy, Texas, the home of tailpipes and tacos. Just ahead, talk to some of the participants in this Father's Day weekend event. Konrad will have This Week in Auto History, and I'll get you updated on the stories making car news this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Konrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. David Ainsley, who's now officially on vacation. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. By the way, we've had some sort of, audio technical difficulties with Restream and whatever. We're not going to worry about that. We're moving on this Saturday morning. Yeah, we're coming to you live out here. Great turnout. A lot of people here. Can you show that picture of the
Yep, it's up.
Participants out there?
I thought we weren't supposed to refer to the video.
Well, we're not. So just shut up over there and be my wife.
So does that make me number 4?
Good morning.
Well, that'd work because we don't have sex.
So
anymore
yet. Oh God. So at any rate, I thought what I'd do is, because I missed it in the last segment, that we would do this week's car review.
Okay.
Are you good with that? I had a chance to drive the 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Available trim levels are the Laredo, the Altitude, not Attitude, but Altitude. It's only one letter off. Overland, the Summit, and the Summit Reserve. I had the Summit L Reserve 4x4. It is considered by the United States government as a standard SUV. In other words, body on frame. It's also a midsize, whatever you want to call it. The most awarded vehicle ever from Jeep, for any manufacturer, as a matter of fact, as far as SUVs are concerned. Now, it will seat up to 6 or 7 passengers. It was an all-new vehicle last year. What makes it all new is the fact that it's got a third row in it, and they've made it bigger. Exterior features: 7-slot upper grille, lower opening, contains a bumper in it, which is unique. Still has the popular straight body lines on it. Dual exhaust tips integrated in the lower valance. Nice-looking, thin tail lamps. What I liked about it, well, Jeep didn't stray too far from the outgoing model, which was the standard and the one that won all the awards. Well, thank goodness they didn't do that. I remember the Ford Taurus. Remember when they went from that kind of a square body to that round thing? Took a nosedive, and that was the end of the Taurus in my mind. Anyway, what could use improvement? Now, this is just my opinion. Stop building bigger models upon the redesign, because this is it's noticeably larger. Not that I have anything against the being larger, but it's like, why is it that all of the redesigned cars always have to go a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger? If they're going to do that, then let's name it something else, the big one or something. Do you want the big one? Anyway, interior highlights: beautiful interior layout with the transmission shifter rotary knob on the center console. It does have the Uconnect system. It gets redesigned, but still easy to use. This thing had the Macintosh sound system in it. Holy Toledo. That thing was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was top of the line. You did. You must get that. If you're going to buy one of these, get that Macintosh option. Wow, it's tremendous. Plush interior on the upper trim levels, comfortable seating. Cargo trunk room, more than adequate, especially with the third row down, as you can imagine. What I liked about it, the usability of every inch of the interior of that vehicle. What could use improvement? Big question mark there. I don't know. 3.6-liter V6, 290 horsepower, 257 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission, tow rating 6,200 pounds. 18 miles per gallon city, 25 highway for a combined of 21. Now, this is the car that we took on last weekend's adventure trip to Granbury, Texas, and the remote up there for the Lone Star Street Rod Association. Thank you, Jeep. Thank you, Kimberly Schultz, for allowing us to take that. I got 19.1 miles per gallon over 807 miles we
It's
put
a
on that
comfortable ride,
thing.
too. I sat in the center section of the vehicle, and it's very comfortable.
It is very comfortable. What could use improvement? If I were going to buy one, I would get the V8. It's still an option. The thing weighs 6,500 pounds.
Wow.
And the V6 just didn't have enough oomph for me in my driving style. But it seemed like the V6 struggled a bit. Anyway, ride and handling, oh my gosh, great. You'll love it. Base trim price, $59,660. Price is tested, $67,090. Base model price, surprisingly, $40,325. Good luck in trying to find something like that. Competitors, the Kia Telluride for $33,390, the Honda Pilot for $38,080, and the Volkswagen Atlas for $34,335.
Out of those four, I would stick with the Jeep. Out of those four.
I would too. And, you know, you're thinking, oh, well, you know, the Jeep's a lot more expensive than these other ones. Yeah, but the Jeep does amazing things, especially off-road. And if you, you know, have the country flair going on, you're going to get away for the weekend, going up to the ranch,
I think
something
it's an
like
edge
that.
on quality, too.
I agree.
An edge on quality.
Yeah. And the name. I mean, let's face it. I mean, it does have that kind of reputation. So that is the review today of the Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Thank you for playing along. Are we going to have any guests today now that we got the restream working there, Mr. Mars? Oh, he's got to go find them. Okay, he's been busy over here, and so we didn't want to stray too far.
Okay.
Yeah,
David, I'm going to switch.
it's. I'm sorry. What did you say, Konrad?
Is that like a stray cat?
Stray Cat. Can you sing that song?
They had a bunch of good songs. They weren't a one-hit wonder. But no. Can I sing the song? You don't want to hear me sing. No. I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket.
Really? That doesn't surprise me. Oh, I can't either. But I still try, tempt.
Actually, Konrad sings 10 or 12 miles from here.
Mama
You've
sings
used that
bass.
joke. You used that joke before?
I know. We do Stray Cats. The band does Stray Cats.
It's like my dad asked me one time, he goes, "What'd you do with all the money I gave you for singing lessons?" I said, "I don't know. It went up in smoke."
Literally. Oh, my God. Can you admit all that stuff out here in public like that?
He just did.
He did. And he hasn't been arrested yet.
What a good collection of cars showed up today.
It truly is. It's a very nice collection. And I am particularly enthralled by the DeLorean Back to the Future car.
We're going to get you a ride in that.
You know, I'm good. I just rather sit back and enjoy the...
It's got all the wires. It's got all of the doodads on it.
Somebody did their homework on that particular car.
Doodads.
And, and
well, it is Father's Day, so you got to have doodads.
That's right. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, to you.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, what?
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, everybody. Yeah, this is the Father's Day edition of the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show at Lupe Tortilla. And the Tailpipes and Tacos cruise in. Glad you could join us today. We've had all sorts of technical issues. Seems like we always do.
But usually they finish right as the show starts. This one that kind of went into quite a bit of the show.
And there's a company that we use called Restream, and they send out our broadcast to all of these different podcasts around the world. And there was some sort of an issue, and Mars said, "Oh, well, I talked to the technician, and he said that there's not anything wrong." Really?
We have a technician.
I know. But he doesn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, but he isn't listening to what's going on. He's just sitting in a room somewhere going, "Oh, there's nothing wrong." He might work for the Biden administration.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Put your headset on, David. So David had that kind of an issue. He had you know, David works in mysterious ways behind the scenes because he's the chief engineer of several radio stations. And he told me a story today about some sort of issue that he had with this tick, 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 tick. So
Are we using AT&T for video?
We're, probably
Yeah,
AT&T.
That's the problem.
Yeah. And, it's funny because Mars used to work for them.
Uh-oh.
I think that's the problem.
I think that is the problem. And so there is that issue that there's nothing wrong on my end. Yeah, there is something wrong on your end. Fix it.
You just don't want to admit it.
That's correct.
Or he's too stupid to understand that there's a problem.
Ooh.
Hopefully he's not listening.
I don't care. He should be listening. That'd be fine with me. Don't care. I think while we're waiting for our first guest, I think what we should do is we should do This Week in Auto History.
We can do.
Jeff, are you good with that? Can we do This Week in Auto
I
History?
just pulled it up right now.
You did? Okay. Well, great.
So, This Week in Auto History, in 1924, the Ford Motor Company manufactured its 10 millionth Model T.
10 million Model Ts.
And you got to remember, over time, they actually produced 15 million of them, basically the exact same car 15 million times. But in 24, they had produced their 10 millionth one.
Can you imagine working on that assembly line? There are guys that
Boring.
probably died on the assembly line putting that thing together.
Yeah, quite boring.
I worked an assembly line, and yes, it was quite boring.
Yeah.
And then in 1928, Leon Duray drove his Miller 91 Packard Cable Special to a world closed course speed record of an astonishing 148 miles an hour.
Wow. Isn't that Duryea?
No, Duray. It wasn't Duryea. Duryea was one of the first cars ever made. Different person.
So that would be like Duray Ray.
Duray Ray. And his other brother.
It's Duray.
And he had bested his previous record of 124 miles an hour at the Indy 500 that stood for 10 years at 124 miles an hour at the Indy 500. But you think about it, in that car doing 148 miles an hour, not me. In 1937, Harold T. Ames of Chicago, Illinois, chief executive of Duesenberg, received a patent for quote-unquote headlight structure retractable headlights. And the first time it was produced was in the Cord 810. So you got to remember, Duesenberg and Cord had a bit of a relationship back in the day. But again, the first use of hidden headlights was patented by the chief executive of Duesenberg. In 1952, Maurice Ollie, do you know that name, Maurice Ollie?
I don't.
He was Chevrolet's chief engineer who completed the chassis code-named Opal in 1952. Do you know,
kidding. Yeah.
You know what
Opal.
that was?
Sure, Opal.
No.
Well, tell me then.
The chassis
Why do you set
code-named
me up
Opal
to fail?
was the eventual 1953 Corvette. So its original code name was Opal.
I had no clue.
And Maurice Ollie's career started at Rolls-Royce, and then he went to General Motors, and then within General Motors went to Chevrolet and was part of the Corvette production team, and he did all the suspension work on the original Corvette. In 1962, Scottish racer Jim Clark won his first Formula One Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Clark would go on to the most sordid careers in F1 history. His 1965 season is his crowning achievement as the sport's most dominant racer. Clark led every lap of every race he competed in and became the first Briton to win the Indy 500 as well.
I was going to say that car is on display at the Henry Ford in Detroit. And it was also, I think, one of the first rear-engine cars that raced at the Indy 500.
The Lotus with the Cosworth Ford engine.
Yep, and it is there, and you're going to go, that's it? It's
tiny.
It's so small compared to today's cars.
And Clark
oh
was
God.
a diminutive man as well. He wasn't a very, very big man.
But I'll tell you what, when I saw that car, I thought, I'll never forget that, just the sight of it. Because I remember
how tiny it was.
Yeah.
And very
the
leading edge because
the significance that it played.
It was the really the first dominant car of the rear engine era.
Yep.
And then since then, everything's gone rear engine. In 1978, Ford Motor Company chairman Henry Ford fired who?
Iacocca.
Lee Iacocca. the designer of the Mustang, from Lee Iacocca's position of president of Ford, ending a bitter personal struggle between the two men. Lee Iacocca went on to lead Chrysler Corporation to tremendous amount of success through the K car, and then after he retired from Chrysler, he went on to lead the rebuilding of the Statue of Liberty.
I read Iacocca's book. It was a very interesting book years ago when he wrote it. It was very nice.
And a very good read.
Mm-hmm.
In 1994, viewers across the nation are glued to their television screens watching a fleet of black and white police cars pursuing a white Ford Bronco along Interstate 405 in Los Angeles, California. Inside the Bronco was O.J. Simpson.
Was without pulp.
That
O.J. without pulp.
And his actor, sports commentator. He was an actor and a sports commentator, and they were chasing him for allegedly doing bad things. We don't need to go into that, but that was when the
They
O.J.
killed his wife.
Yep, and a friend of hers.
Yeah.
And then also in 1980, Jeff, if you want to flip to the other vid.
Okay. Give me a second.
Also in 1980, this week, in Chicago, Illinois, was the grand premiere of the movie
The Blues,
Brothers, which was an iconic movie in itself, but it's also known for one of the best chase scenes in movies and the chase scene that destroyed more cars than any chase scene before or since.
Over on Wacker Drive.
Driving-
That's Lower Wacker
Lower
Drive.
Wacker Drive.
Yeah.
And what a great movie with some great actors and actresses in it. You know, Aretha Franklin was in it. Twiggy was in it. You know, there was some pretty.
That's right. Twiggy was
She was
in it.
driving the
God, she was hot.
yeah. So, what a great movie. But 1980, so what, 42 years ago this week?
Thank you. Did you have to go? Why do you have to
Count the years?
douse my hopes?
How did that douse your hopes?
Well, because I'm old.
Because you're old. So that's this week in auto history. And I think Mars has brought us a guest.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's about time you did something,
Are we
Mars.
ready
boy.
for him?
Well, I don't know. I know I am.
I was looking for the clock. You ready for him?
Yes, we are. Let's go.
Okay. So here is Mr. Charlie Keel. And right out front, that black 68, I guess 69, 68 Dodge Charger, 512 cubic inches under where the hood used to be. And that's as far as I'm going. I'm going to let him explain
There's no
it to
hood
you.
on the car.
Right. It's where the hood used
Why
to
is
be.
there no hood on the car? Because you couldn't fit it all underneath there.
Well, with the Hillborn EFI injection, it won't fit, and
You didn't want to cut up the hood.
Well, I did cut up the fiberglass hood. I had a cowl hood on it before, cowl induction hood, and just didn't look right. And I'm going to finish putting the nose cone in a 70 model hood is different than a 68 and 9, so I'm just holding off till I can.
Well, can I just tell you?
Sure.
I like it the way it looks.
I
Well,
do
thank
too.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I mean, seriously, I do. It's got a little swagger to it that way.
Well, it's got that stance of the classic 60s, 70s muscle car.
It
You know,
scares you.
The big fatties in the back,
The wing.
tilted up a little bit, you know. But you didn't tilt it up on shackles. Which tilt it up on?
It's got sliders. The Caltrac monoleaf springs in the back with Caltracs and a Dana 60. And I mean, it's a street car.
Hey, he's old school like that.
I know.
What kind of gear are you running?
It's got a 410 gear in it.
Oh gosh.
410. What kind of gas mileage you getting in
Well,
that
actually,
thing?
it gets good gas mileage. It's got I put an overdrive transmission in it,
There
so
you
I can
go.
roll 80, 90 mile an hour, no problem. Keep up with everybody running 100 mile an hour on Interstate 10. And
Until you get to Brookshire.
yeah, Brookshire's a different story. But it's a driver. I've been having fuel system problems with it. It's got an in-tank pump. Like I said, it's EFI with the Hillborn
Well, what are
setup.
the problems?
Just running out of fuel. I've been having a delivery
Everybody's
problem.
running out of fuel.
Yeah, no shit.
But his is in a different
I
way.
got
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I got you.
But in March, I took it out to Baytown, and it ran at 1093, but the fuel pump was
Holy
laying
cow.
down. I mean, it just drive up just like it sits. I did put the
That's
longer
pretty
runners
stout.
on it, and
Put the longer what?
the longer runners on it. The
Uh-huh.
Hillborns, you can change the runners,
Right.
the runner length. I do that so I can see over it. I had the long ones on there for a long time, and
Yeah, it's
and
hard to see the
very hard to
the
see
Christmas tree.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
hard to see anything, especially people riding their bicycles on. You're making a sweeper right-hand turn, you
yeah.
can't see them.
Yeah.
But
How much fun though?
Oh, it's awesome.
The fun part about it, what I really like about it, is that it's a driver.
yes,
Yeah, and that's the cool part to me. Everybody fixes their car up to the point where you can't drive it. Listen, I'm guilty of that. I did that back in the 80s, the 70s. No, never going to do that again.
yes, sir.
So is that a flat black paint, or is it primered?
It's matte black is what they call it.
Okay.
Matte black.
So you don't have a $50,000 paint job that's going to get dinged up.
Well, I'd rather go fast and make a good driver.
Yep.
Than it look real pretty.
Good for you.
My other car sitting in the garage is a 2020 TA Challenger, and that's my driver, and that's the one I like. You know, I keep it clean and polished. But this is I just drive this car.
You buddy.
Yeah, well, we like it a lot. Power steering, power brakes.
Yeah, it's got power rack and pinion. No power brakes. It doesn't need it. It stops good.
Does it? Disc brakes?
Yeah, disc in the front, but I kept drum in the back.
Yeah. Keep
reminds
it simple.
me of that movie from Australia. What was it? There in the Outback.
Mad Max.
Mad
Max.
Max. That's what it reminds me of.
I was going to say, when you first pulled in, I was like, oh, Dom's here. Except he had the blower sticking out the hood. But he's done a number of those Fast and Furious movies. He's had a late 60s, early 70s Charger in them.
Yep.
So
Now, one thing I noticed about yours, the hood's not there, but it's like the tip of the hood.
Yeah, I
is
cut
there.
off the front section of the fiberglass hood so that it completes the front end.
Okay.
So
It
it's-
definitely looks better than the whole thing being gone. You don't
Yeah.
see the radiator
Right.
or anything else.
Right.
and
That looks pretty cool.
And not only the Daytona rear wing, which actually looks good on the car, you also put the scoops over the front tires off of the Daytona.
Yes,
and
sir.
you said you've got a nose cone for it?
Not yet. I'm that's in works. We just sold our house in Katy and bought a house out in Pattison and trying to get the house inside the way the wife wants it. So the Charger kind of gets put aside.
So in
for
other
right
words,
now.
so the swimming pool is out at the new house. Instead, we're just going to work on take that extra dough and
Right.
put it in the car.
Exactly.
Get a nose
Right.
cone.
Exactly.
See,
Now, are
actually
you
that-
going to build a nose cone, or are you
No.
going to buy one?
Janik here, actually, he's here in the Houston area. His father just recently passed away, and so the son took over, and he's doing the kits. They do their fiberglass noses where the original nose was steel, and but they do as close to reproduction exact as you can get. Not that I care about that, but that wing is an aluminum wing. It is not a fiberglass wing. I did not want one at speed. You can see the fiberglass ones, they sit there and bow and buckle. A lot of guys that are running them
Oh, yeah?
on high-speed cars with the fiberglass wing, they
So
don't
the
hold
new
up.
house in Pattison, how many car garage is that?
Well, right now it's 3, but then hopefully I'm going to get a shop in the back,
Okay.
workshop.
Well, we're hoping for you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need some help? We'll come out and help.
Sure.
You don't mind, do you?
Not at all.
You know, he could be Craig Bierman's twin brother.
And Patterson's out west.
Yes, sir. North of Brookshire.
Have you been to Hemi Hideout?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm good friends with John. John's a good guy.
He's friends
And
at the
Shelley.
show.
Yeah, they're all great people out there. They kind of call me their interim tour guide because I go out there so much. So
Yeah, well, it's funny you should say that because I understand that there's an event out there next Saturday.
yes, there is.
And I texted him, and my text to him is, am I invited to your shindig next Saturday? And he says, absolutely. I'd love to have you there. And, of course, bring a date. It's a 70s dress scheme. Let's start at 6 p.m. Let me know if you're for sure coming. I'll be there.
You'll
You
be
going to be
there.
there?
I will try and make it. I will try and make
You
it.
guys, he could be his date.
Nah, I ain't gonna be nobody's date. My wife would get jealous.
Well, you can bring her. Is she
Yeah.
here today?
No, she's not here.
Does she go to you with you?
She's
on
working
most
on
of
the
these?
other house.
Yeah, she's working on the new house.
Is she?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm out here having fun.
Absolutely. Well, we're glad that you came out here. I've not seen that car before.
It's been
No.
out here.
Has it?
Yeah.
Well, I've been
I've
stuck
missed
behind
it.
the desk here.
Well, it was around the corner, so it may have been around the corner before
This is true.
and just
Yeah.
missed it.
Well, and again, to bring the old school look to it is the center lines.
Yes.
That's
You
true,
know, the
too.
Krager center lines are very classic for early 70s muscle. And it looks great on that car. It really sets the car off.
Thank you.
So you said your next plans for it is a nose cone and some kind of completion to the hood?
Yeah, I'll get a different hood. I don't know what I'm going to do yet with the Hillborn stacks sticking out of it. But I'll figure that out.
Overall, how has the Hillborn thing worked for you, other than the fuel delivery to it?
It works great. It works great. I mean, I've done a lot of EFI stuff, tuning and what have you, but it took a long time to get that to where it was drivable. You know, originally the Hillborn was a mechanical fuel injection.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just made for wide open throttle.
Right.
And then they came out with the EFI setup to where they cast it where it's got the place for the injectors to go in. And it's actually a Holley HP ECU computer on it.
Okay. Well, doesn't Holley now sell that Hillborn?
Yeah, they bought out Hillborn, but they quit making most of them. For all the Mopars, they quit making, except for the Hemi, they still make it. But the B block and RB block, they quit making the Hillborn setup. So luckily I had found that one used. Actually, it was brand new in the box, and the guy had bought it all and then wasn't going to use it, and it happened to have the right size injectors I needed.
Bingo!
And everything worked out, and I got it for about half of what it cost from Hillborn. Yeah. Everybody thought I was crazy for putting a Hillborn on a street car. I said, I'll get it figured out, because I'd done some individual runner tuning on some motorcycles and stuff before. But it took me a while, but it runs, heck, it's got a big roller cam in it. It idles almost like a stock 440. And because the individual runner cancels out the pulses in the intake, and it
is sweet.
But it's a fun car. Got cold AC.
No, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I
you got a CB radio in it?
No CB radio.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll fix you up with one.
So when you tune the Hillborn, are you tuning it on a computer watching O2, or are you tuning it with the antimeters and the airflow?
Well, you have to do that too to set up the idle, the airflow through each runner, and then but you use the laptop, go in and program everything.
Because I was going to say the measuring the airflow that's an unknown skill by a lot of people. You know, you talk to them about, you know, you put a little wind meter on top of it and determine how much air is going in each of the individual to find balance in the engine.
Yes.
We sure appreciate you stopping by.
Well, I also want to say real quick, I built that car. I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2011.
Sorry.
That's why the name of the car is Brain Damage, and the front's across the windshield. And it's I want to make it clear to people that have multiple sclerosis, don't give up, to keep pushing and have something in your life that you're passionate about doing, and don't give up on life. And I mean, that car saved my life. It gave me something to do. Even though I wouldn't be able to work on it for maybe an hour a day, here and there, and it's taken 11 years to get it to where it is today. It gave me a purpose.
Well, good for you.
And that's why it's called Brain Damage.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you stopping in.
Time for a quick break now. We'll be right back. You're on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show on iHeart Radio. Get out the permanent marker and write on your wall calendar the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday, September 17th, 2022. It's the fall edition of Tailpipes and Tacos at the Lupe Tortilla in Katy, 8 to 11 a.m. It's the only place cruisers compete for Lupe's Chili Pepper trophies and other prizes. There's no charge to enter your vehicle for Best Hot Rod, Best Classic, or Best Modern Classic. Tailpipes and Tacos is Houston's coolest and most unique cruise-in, and is your opportunity to see the best hot rod, show cars, classics, and resto mods, and get Lupe Tortilla breakfast tacos with adult beverages. There's no entry fee, and cars will automatically compete for those much sought-after custom Lupe trophies and other prizes. It happens at the Lupe Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10. It's Tailpipes and Tacos Fall Edition, Saturday, September 17th. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show will be there too. Celebrate the beginning of fall and the return of the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In, Saturday morning, September 17th, 8 to 11 a.m. We'll see you then, weather permitting. Want to take a minute to tell you about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, a Houston detail company like no other. Gulf Coast Auto Shield offers paint correction services that'll give your car, truck, or SUV a like-new shine. Afterwards, you'll want to protect it with a professionally installed nano-ceramic coating or protection film. Worried about your very expensive windshield getting damaged, broken, or cracked? Let Gulf Coast Auto Shield install Exo Shield, a windshield protection film. Give John Gray a call today or check out their website, gcautoshield.com. Hey, whether you own a new, ultra-expensive, exotic, or a 5-year-old Suburban,
Gulf Coast Auto Shield will help keep your investment looking like the day it rolled off the assembly line. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is conveniently located on the South Sam Houston Parkway, just south of I-69, the Southwest Freeway. Meet the staff and check out all of their services online right now at gcautoshield.com.